Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants from me. Be it in the state of faqir, fuqara, be it in the state of aghniya, whether I'm mareed, whether I'm salim. Doesn't make any difference to me. This is what is zuhud. So let's go back. Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salam says, Tuba liz-zahidina fid dunya. Glad tidings to the one who are completely neutral in this dunya. وَالرَّاغِبِينَ فِي الْآخِرَةِ. Not only are they neutral in this life, but they're desperately yearning, they're uncomfortably yearning. Raghba, they're uncomfortably yearning for the akhirah. Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salam is asking us to be like this. In the middle of the night, he can't sleep. We know that death is one of those certainties. In fact, we know that every single one of us in this room, we have differences and we have commonalities. Muslims, non-Muslims, anyone. Interestingly, when I was growing up, and I'm sure you guys you can relate to this, there's two things in society, be it in a Western society or whether it's not a Western society, there's two things right now that are slowly being extracted from our process of thought. And I would like you guys to go away and think about this, because I've thought about it much, and I've got firm conviction now that this is actually true. But you guys go ahead, go home, and over the next few days think about it. Number one, the removal of tawheed from society. We are in a society where we are being stopped from remembering Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Number one. Number two, the remembrance of death and afterlife. It's the one thing that is a common denominator between all of us here in this room or anyone outside of this room. Yet death and its remembrance and akhirah is something that is being left out completely. We're completely omitting it from any type of our thinking. However, we see the complete opposite when looking at the words of the Ahlul Bayt alayhim salatu wassalam. Yeah? Interestingly, it doesn't say Udhkurul Maut. We don't have many hadith that says Udhkurul Maut. Rather, the hadith comes and says Akthiru min dhikril maut. The hadith doesn't say remember death. It says increase your remembrance of death. Almost as if it takes it as a given. You should be remembering death all the time anyway. No. Akthiru min dhikril maut. Increase the remembrance of death. Why? A common ayah of Quran that we're repeating constantly. Kullu nafsin dha'iqatul maut. What does this mean? Let's translate it together. Kullu nafsin dha'iqatul maut. What does that mean to us? Can anyone say? Kullu nafsin dha'iqatul maut. Every soul shall taste death. Let's go back to what we did before and just translate it a bit more accurately so we can understand what's going on. Dha'iqa, the respected shuyukh here will tell you, is not a verb. Dha'iqa is not the same as tadhuqu. Kullu nafsin tadhuqul maut is not the case. Kullu nafsin dha'iqatul maut. Not that every soul shall taste death. Rather, every soul is in the state of tasting death right now. Same thing as what we spoke about before. Kullu nafsin dha'iqatul maut. It's a reality that every single one of us will see in this life, and we'll see the repercussions in the next life as well. The respected Marhum, my father-in-law, and many of the relatives are here, was a special character when it comes to the people around him. It was one of the main characteristics I think everyone who knew him would be able to concur with. That his character and his personality was such that, be it the first time he's ever met this person in the Lushoto Mountains, or whether he's known you for a while, the jolly character and the amount of happiness he would cause to be around us was something that was second to none. Whether you knew him a little bit or not, or a lot. And I want to share this beautiful hadith because it's important for us to know this right now, going forward, and also perhaps it's something of a light for him as well. This hadith is found in Al-Kafi from Imam As-Sadiq alayhi salatu wassalam. In a lengthy tradition, Imam As-Sadiq alayhi salam says the following. He says, إِذَا بَعَثَ اللَّهُ الْمُؤْمِنِ, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala raises the mu'min min qabrihi, from his grave, خَرَجَ مَعَهُ مِثَالٌ. When the mu'min is raised from his grave, there is a type of epiphany, we would call it in English, that is raised with him, a separate entity. I'm coming out of my grave, there's something separate to me that will come out with me at the same time. It says, يَقْدُمُ أَمَامَهُ. Imam Sadiq alayhi salam says, this separate entity will be walking in front of you as you're raised from your grave. كل ما رأى المؤمن هولا من أهوال يوم القيامة قال له المثال لا تفزع ولا تحزن. He says, every time this epiphany or this existence that is around you, every time that this mu'min sees the painstakingness of the day of judgment and everything that surrounds him, this separate entity will tell that mu'min, don't be afraid. Be calm. وَأَبْشِرْ بِالسُّرُورِ وَالْكَرَامَةِ مِنَ اللَّهِ. He'll give good tidings and he'll say, no, don't worry. Allah's generosity is abundant. It's coming, don't worry. حَتَّى يَقِفَ بَيْنَ يَدَ اللَّهِ عَزَّ وَجَلَ. Until the point, so this entity will be with the mu'min until the point that the mu'min reaches Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in front of him. فَيُحَاسِبُهُ حِسَابًا يَسِيرًا. And this entity will help in the accounting that we will have with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It will be made very easy for us. وَيَأْمُرُ بِهِ إِلَى الْجَنَّةِ وَالْمِثَالُ أَمَامَهُ. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will command this mu'min to enter Jannah whilst this entity will be in front of him. So still, until before even entering Jannah, this entity will be in front of the mu'min. فَيَقُولُ لَهُ الْمُؤْمِنُ. The mu'min finally will turn to this entity and he will say, يَرْحَمُكَ اللَّهُ. May Allah have mercy on you. نِعْمَ الْخَارِجِ خَرَجْتَ مَعِي. You've been such a great companion whilst I've come out of my grave and I've gone towards Allah and the accounting has happened and I'm just about to enter Jannah. He's wanting to thank him. Thank you so much. You've been such a great companion for me. من قبري وما زلت تبشرني بالسرور والكرامة من الله عز وجل حتى رأيت ذلك. You've been so great. You've been warning me. You've been telling me about all the good things that is going to happen to me and all the pleasures that's going to come until I've reached this point here. فيقول من أنت? Who are you? Why are you here? Who are you? فيقول, this entity will say, أنا السرور الذي كنت أدخلت على أخي المؤمن في الدنيا. It says, I am that entity, I'm that very happiness that you kept imparting and instilling into a fellow mu'min, that time that you were making that mu'min happy, and you were being kind to him, and you were helping him, and you were relieving him of his worries. Allah created me. خَلَقَنِيَ اللَّهُ عَزَّ وَجَلُّ مِنْهُ لِأُبَشِّرُكَ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created me from that happiness that you instilled in a fellow mu'min. He created me in order for me today to give you glad tidings of you entering Jannah. This is the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Every single thing that we do will have an effect on us in the day of judgment, in our grave, in the day of judgment, in the accounting, etc. Hopefully with this, when I read this, I really thought that, mashallah, with the amount of happiness this man had imparted into other people, it would be a great token that inshallah today in his in his grave, and when we are raised, all of us, inshallah, if we can work on this, imparting goodness to other mu'mineen, that one day it might just help us, inshallah. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that when tragedies happen, they are actually very, very difficult. وَاسْتَعِينُوا بِالصَّبْرِ وَالصَّلَاةِ وَإِنَّهَا لَكَبِيرَةٌ إِلَّا عَلَى الْخَاشِعِينَ. It's extremely difficult to withhold and withstand musibah when it comes to you. إِنَّهَا لَكَبِيرَةٌ. Double stress here. But he says something afterwards, and it says الَّذِينَ يَظُنُّونَ أَنَّهُمْ مُلَاقُو رَبِّهِمْ وَأَنَّهُمْ إِلَيْهِ رَاجِعُونَ. However, what brings them tranquility is that they know and they believe that they're in the state of meeting Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and they're returning back to Him. But one of the bounties we have as Shia of Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salam is that any tragedy that comes to us, there's always another tragedy that will supersede it. يا ابن الشبيب إن كنت باكيا لشيء فابك للحسين بن علي بن أبي طالب فإنه ذبح كما يذبح الكبش. يا ابن الشبيب إن بكيت على الحسين حتى تصير دموعك على خديك غفر الله لك كل ذنب أذنبته صغيرا كان أو كبيرا قليلا كان أو كثيرا. Imam al-Rida alayhi salatu wassalam, in the month of Muharram, was speaking to his companion Shabib al-Rayyan, and he said, "Oh Shabib, if you're to cry over anything or anyone, فَابْكِ لِلْحُسَيْنِ ibn Ali ibn Abi Talib, then cry for Imam al-Husayn alayhi salam." Why Imam Rida? Imam Rida alayhi salam says, "Ya ibn al-Shabib, فَإِنَّهُ ذُبِحَ كَمَا يُذْبَحُ الْكَبْشِ." Ibn al-Shabib, Imam al-Husayn alayhi salam, my grandfather was slaughtered like the sacrificing of a goat. Ibn al-Shabib, in bakayta ala al-Husayn. If you cry over Imam al-Husayn, حتى تصير دموعك على خديك, until even one teardrop comes on your cheek. غفر الله لك كل ذنب أذنبته. Allah will forgive every single sin, whether they are big or small, in plenty or sparse. يا ابن الشبيب إن سرك أن تلقى الله عز وجل ولا ذنب عليك فزر الحسين. يا ابن الشبيب, if you want to meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on the day of judgment when there's no sin on your neck, then go and visit Imam al-Husayn alayhi salam in Karbala. يا ابن الشبيب إن سرك أن تسكن الغرف المبنية في الجنة مع النبي. يا ابن الشبيب, if you want to be with the Holy Messenger in Jannah on the day of judgment, with the Holy Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa alihi, فَلْعَنْ قَتَلَةَ الْحُسَيْنِ, then curse the killers of Imam al-Husayn. يا ابن الشبيب إن سرك أن تكون لك من الثواب مثل لمن استشهد مع الحسين. If you want to be from among those companions who was sacrificed on the day of Ashura with Imam al-Husayn, then say فَقُلْ مَتَى مَا ذَكَرْتَهُ, then say every time you remembered him, يا ليتني كنت معهم فأفوز فوزا عظيما. السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله وعلى الأرواح التي حلت بفنائك. عليك مني سلام الله أبدا ما بقيت وبقي الليل والنهار، ولا جعله الله آخر العهد مني لزيارتكم. السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين. أفلح من صلى على محمد وآل محمد.